Hello and welcome back to the Piping Pastor. Today we'll be discussing the idea of community by looking at the poetry of Thomas Hardy. Well, today I am enjoying some Elizabethan mixture here in my Curtis Meerschaum Churchwarden. I did complete my Bijou mixture and I decided to go with my first recipe. I thought, well, I could save some of the blending components back just in case and have a tobacco that was kind of okay, but not really all that great. Or I could use all the blending components, have a tobacco I really like, and then buy more blending components later on if I need to. So I went with that idea. So I was able to get about 6 ounces, so about 6-7 ounces. I jarred up 2 to cellar, and then I've got 1 jar that I'm actually going to start enjoying right now. Not today, obviously. It's just Elizabethan. But look forward to doing that in the next video. Well, some of you may have noticed in one of the comments on one of our previous videos, someone mentioned a gaucho knife. That would be my best mate in Scotland, Eder, who is a pastor as well. And when we went and visited over the holiday, he gifted me with something rather remarkable. This is the gaucho knife. Pardon me while I put my churchwarden off to the side here. So, pipe smoking knife maker. Take a look at this. It's a wonderfully beautiful handcrafted knife. If you can hear this on the mic, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that's a thick, heavy, stiff piece of metal. It's made from the truck spring. So the springs on the shock system of truck, hammered and pounded out into a razor sharp knife, and you'll see the colors on the handle there are the colors of Eder's home state in Brazil. So it's just another wonderful way that the Lord works. I always joke that I met my best friend, who he's from Brazil. I'm from America. We met in Scotland while I was serving in a Chinese church. So, I mean, you talk about international community coming together. There's a perfect example of it right there. But it's a knife to use in barbecues. So, very much looking forward to my next barbecue. Where I can break that knife out and cut up the meat and think about Eder while I'm doing it. Which kind of brings me to my discussion for today. Been thinking recently about community. No particular reason. But the importance of community, the benefits of community, and the blessings of community. And in thinking about that, I have here a poem by the author Thomas Hardy. And actually, I have a picture with Thomas Hardy, which I'll show here. Of course, he's been dead for a few hundred years, but hey, I was there, and I was only a few feet away from him in Westminster Abbey with my long-suffering wife and children, standing there taking pictures of me next to all these quote-unquote dead people. I had a good time with it anyway. But this is a poem that Thomas Hardy wrote. It's called Confession to a Friend in Trouble. Your troubles shrink not, though I feel them less, here far away than when I tarried near. Even smile old smiles with listlessness, yet smiles they are, not ghastly mockeries mere. A thought too strange to hide within my brain, haunting its outer precincts I discern, that will not show zeal again to learn your griefs, and my sharing them renew my pain. It goes like murky bird or buccaneer that shapes its lawless figure on the main, and staunchness tends to banish utterly the unseemly instinct that had lodgment here. Yet comrade old, can bitterer knowledge be than that though banned such instinct was in me? Hardy writes this poem to a friend in apology, basically, because his friend is going through troubles and Hardy is unable to empathize with this person. And he feels guilty about it. His friend's in trouble and he's not really able to offer solace or comfort and he feels bad. So he's basically saying, I feel guilty, but I'm just like, yeah. You know, the Bible tells us that as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. That only happens in relationship. In a real relationship, there's friction, there's conflict. In a relationship like with that Hardy is indicating here, there's none of that. It's soft, it's easy, it's uncommitted, it's not real, and as such, there's no real benefit to it. When his friend gets in trouble, he's kind of uncaring. Feels guilty about it, but in reality, he's rather uncaring. You know, this knife that I showed you, it's a wonderful piece of art. It's very functional. It's great, but it was made through fire and conflict and friction and sparks. If you try to hammer out one of those truck springs with a mallet made of wood, you're not going to get any friction. You're not going to get any sparks. It's not going to be uncomfortable sounds and so on and so forth. But you're also not going to get a knife. You're not going to get anything useful out of it. It's a relationship that I have with my friend Ed. We're both pastors and we care for each other. When I went back and visited over the week, he offered me some pastoral care and counseling. And he asked me some questions and kind of dug into my life a little bit. And it was uncomfortable and I had to wrestle with some things. You know, there were some sparks and some friction there. But in the end, it produced something beautiful and it offered some healing and it helped me deal with some things and look through some stuff in my own life. That's what iron sharpening iron does. And that's what happens in real community. That's why community is a good thing. That's why friendships and relationships are a good thing. That's why the YTPC is a good thing. Yeah, and we're separated by miles, sometimes thousands of miles and oceans and so on and so forth, but I feel a connection to people in this community, whether it's Bob or Rob or Cliff or, whomever, right? I mean, the reason Parsimonious Piper does those YouTube Piper's Care videos, it's not because he's getting paid to do it, right? No one's giving him paid endorsements or saying, hey, I'll give you $10 if you mention me in their video so I get some prayer. No. He goes through and does this. And I think I heard him mention one time he has over 200 subs on his account. So he watches these videos, he listens for people who are in trouble or who are in need. And he says, hey, we need to pray for this person. We need to let this person know that we care about what they're going through. And people reach out to him and say, hey, I'm going through this. Can you put this on there? Because I need some prayer. That's what a community does. Yeah, there may be friction sometimes, and we're not always all going to agree with each other on everything, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, the friction, the tension, the community is what builds something beautiful. That's what builds the beautiful life. And it prevents us from having those kind of vapid, unnecessary, unproductive relationships like Hardy had with his poem, where when someone does have a need and they do need some help and we're in a point where we're like, I really don't care. I pray for those people that mention they need help in Parsimonious's videos. And I feel a connection with, a lot of my California brethren, Central and Southern, both, right? There are so many people out there who we can benefit from having community with. And it's important. And it's needful, and it's a beautiful thing. So that is it for this one. Cover the knife, cover the community, cover the poem. So I'm going to turn my attention back to my lovely tobacco here. I hope you have a wonderful week. As always, happy reading.